Hi there, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, which gives you a little bit more information about our ICM week on the 12th of August. This is always loads of fun. Stefan is such a great presenter, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks very much, Stephanie, just for recording a real short snippet. And I know it's super busy time-wise, but because we're really looking forward to our ICM week this year with you, based on how much fun we had last year, we just put it straight back in the calendar. So we're coming back on the 12th of August for a full week of ICM. And I just thought it'd be really lovely to give a brief outline as to what kind of things you're hoping to do in that one week, as it were. And I really like these new ICM images that you've sent, by the way. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful images.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, more than welcome. So we are looking at the 12th of August, and it's 7 p.m. British summer time, which is UTC +1. What time is that where you are, Stephanie? So I should know this.
UTC +1, I'm -6, so that's 1 PM in the afternoon, I think, for me, Central Time, US Central Time. So hopefully that gives other people an idea what that would be for them here in the US and other places.
Super. And I think the last time we had people joining us live from all over the world. So it's
Right.
really fascinating as well.
Yeah.
And I particularly think those people who joined live from New Zealand and live from the west coast of America deserve gold stars.
Yes, absolutely.
So this week, we've got some session outlines and some basic expectations. And I wondered Stephanie, whether you'd like to talk us through any of these at all. Now, before we start, it's just worth sort of mentioning to people that last time I think we were a little bit flexible where we moved some into different sessions where necessary. So it may not necessarily be exactly as you see here. But Stephanie, I didn't know if you'd like to talk us through one or two of these perhaps.
Yeah, sure. And actually, I've been doing some new work over the past several months. And so I would actually like to talk about some of that new work and how I'm incorporating that with ICM. And so I think for this week of ICM, what I really want to do is to give some, basics for those people that might be coming who are new to ICM, but then also talk about some ways that we can take our ICM photography beyond just ICM and maybe work with some creative post processing, because certainly in some of those images at the top of the page that you were mentioning, those are creatively processed images where I have taken an ICM and built something more artistic and creative in Photoshop using layers. Like that image there in the very center is one where I have done that. And then kind of another thing I've been thinking a lot about, which I haven't elaborated on. I mentioned it in the magazine, but I haven't really elaborated extensively publicly about it, is this idea that I want to maybe start to rethink ICM a little bit and reimagine ICM to allow for a little bit more creative freedom that enables us to think of it in terms of just creative photography in general and how we might be able to use ICM with some of these other creative techniques. So those are some things that I'd like to introduce in this week of ICM. And so, yes, that overview and that daily schedule, it might change a little bit as I continue to work on the outlines for each of the days. But it is basically the things that I do plan to talk about. I've also been doing more mobile ICM myself, and so I've been working with a lot of new apps that I haven't talked about before publicly. So, it's really just going to be, I hope, a week of learning about ICM, but then also learning how we can take that ICM work that we do and be even more creative with it.
Thank you. And I think one of the strengths of what we looked at last year was we enabled a sort of a sharing platform, didn't we? We set up
Mhm.
a web page, and throughout the week there was no homework or anything like that set. We don't, there's no kind of tasks, but it did give people the opportunity to share their pictures, share their approaches, share their resources. And that was a really rich vein of content, I suppose. And so we're hoping to do the same again this year. So everybody who comes, just to clarify, it's not £25 a session, it's £25 for the week. Everybody who comes will get access to this page, and that page will be broken down into 5 or 6 sections. On there, you'll be able to upload, you'll be able to share your ideas, share your thoughts, share your approaches, and then maybe perhaps if you'd like to comment on other people's work as well, not critique, but just perhaps to say what you enjoy, what you really found fascinating about that. And I think that's where these online sessions really work well, is because it gives us that opportunity to experience so much more than perhaps we would be able to face to face. Stephanie, can I
Right.
just ask, when you are talking about the post processing, what software you're intending to use for that?
Well, I use Photoshop for the layering. I edit my images in Lightroom. My basic general edits I do in Lightroom, but then the layering that I've been doing, and then the blending that I've been doing with my ICM images, I am doing that in Photoshop. So I know there are other software that people use out there, but that's the one that I work with, and that's the one that I know. So I think the concepts and the principles apply across all of the different, platforms that you can use. So hopefully if you're not, if someone's not a Photoshop user, they can still benefit from the things that I'll share and the techniques that I show that I've been using. And, I'm not an expert, I will say, on Photoshop. It's been a learning curve for me, but I have learned more about Photoshop in the past, I would say, 3 or 4 months than I have in years, actually, because of this just getting in there and doing the work. It's just like with the ICM photography. Most people will know from me that my mantra is do the work, and that applies in the digital darkroom also, to just get in there and do the work. It's because that's how you learn. Doing is how you learn. And so that's really the how I've learned how to use Photoshop in this way as well. It's just getting in there and doing it. So
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And I suppose one of the last things I'd like to say is that, well, on this particular session that I learned last year, was that I popped an interactive map on the page to allow people to connect geographically with others who are near to them, and it was really lovely to then see people from various points around the world actually go and meet each other for some ICM photography. And I know I got sent pictures from people in Manchester and Toronto who'd actually met up and done some ICM. So I think this just is a really wonderful week opportunity to come together, learn new things, and then maybe make some great connections as well.
yeah, definitely. Well, I hope everybody will join us, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I get quite excited about these things all the time, Stephanie, but I've been looking forward to this for a year.
Yeah, it's hard to believe a whole year has gone by already, actually.
Oh, I know, I know. Well, thank you very much, Stephanie, and I hope to see everybody else there as well. See you on the
Thank
12th.
you. Well, thank you, Mark.
And I've noticed this kind of thing happens. If you do this, oh, why is it not doing it? Hey,
What?
yeah.
Mine doesn't do that. Did it do it for me for you?
No, I didn't.
Is there like a
Oh, yeah, and then stars come out.
Oh, really? There's no reactions. Is
Oh,
there
yeah,
reactions? On
yeah,
mine, I don't see
yeah.
reaction. Oh, there we go. React.
Recognize hand gestures. Oh well, that's not going to work, is it?
Huh.
Well, luckily enough, that I don't think that matters. Oh no, come on, it did it a
Interesting.
minute ago. It did it a minute ago.
It did do it. I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so disappointing. It's so
That's
disappointing.
weird.
Okay, we should get back to business. We should get back to business. Let's not put that down there.